Welcome back. Today we are talking about remaining calm in the chaos, inner self-mastery, because when we master our inner matrix, then we can master our external or outer matrix. And this is so important because everything you desire in your life will come so much quicker and easier and with less suffering. And you will move through life with less suffering if you can master your ability to be non-reactive to life, to the way the world is, to the way other people are, and also to the way that you need to evolve throughout your life. So we're going to talk about that inner mastery. After finishing this video, you're gonna have a daily routine or a simple tool to just immediately go within and implement so that you can build this muscle, because it's just a skill. And it's good for you to know that everything is just a skill away. Like, it's not about you having to overhaul your whole identity and be everything, process your entire life's trauma or something before you ever get to where you actually want to be, right? That's just the distortion. And when we ignore all of that spiritual or cultural BS, that's just keeping us all distracted and hypervigilant and feeling like we're not good enough and always on the hamster wheel, right? We realize that if you want something different in your life, or if you want to be something different, even just a characteristic, you want to dress nicer, or you want to, for me, I want to learn to do my makeup. I've never been like that. I just need to learn that skill. It's not personal. It's not this crazy identity crisis that has to happen. We just have to learn the skill. And then as we learn that skill, we will transform along the way. And it's just about showing up for that. However, if we have a history of not being calm, of being overwhelmed or anxious or depressed or angry or all of these emotions, it's going to be harder to navigate change. It's harder to see yourself in the light of change. So that's number 2. You're going to have a different relationship with yourself after this video. And then 3rd, I'm just giving you a simple mindset shift of letting it be easy, okay? So let's get into it. Number 1 thing we're going to talk about today is, or that we're going to do together today, is a simple self-reflection and inner journey that I take everyone through. This is the first thing that I ever do with people, and it's something that I do with myself all of the time, because it recenters yourself as the authority in your life. And that's so vital if you want to remember that you are the leader in your life, and you are the wise one. You have the wisdom within you to guide you, and you've forgotten that. So that's what we are doing here at Drop Into Being. So let's do it. I want you to close your eyes. Let's get comfy if you can. Cross your legs or put your feet on the floor. But I want you to try to get comfy in your seat. Try to have a tall spine. I want you to take a few deep breaths. Try to breathe through your belly, which is your diaphragm, and then exhale. Breathe in through your nose, and exhale. I want you to visualize somewhere that is your favorite place to be. It could be somewhere that you've actually been, or it could be this dream place that you can go to. And there's not anyone else there, it's just you. So you're relaxed, you're feeling pretty good. There's nothing to worry about in this space. Before you enter into this space, or go through the doorway, or sit down on your favorite couch, or sit on the beach, I want you to first put down imagine that you have a backpack or a purse or whatever you're carrying, and I want you to put it down and leave it there. Don't worry, you'll come back for it. Take everything off, even your shoes, maybe necklaces, jewelry, rings. And as you go into your favorite space, or as you open that doorway to go into this, I want you to notice that all of that is gone and the weight is lifted. And now you walk through, and what do you see? Now in this space, there's no one else here. You are no one. You are needed nowhere right now. Any identities or any ideas of who you are in the world are just quiet. They're not here with you. This is your space to just be yourself. Fully, authentically, genuinely, just yourself. And there's no space, time, there's no history here, just this moment. Remembering to breathe. I want you to take inventory of how this feels. To be in your own presence. To be no one, nowhere. To have left everything else behind and to be in your favorite place that is sacred and calm and safe. I want you to recognize if you're no one, nowhere right now, what ideas, beliefs, concepts, or identities, thoughts you have about yourself that are no longer here. They're not in this space, but they're out that door. I want you to recognize that you don't need those. Because this person you are here without all of that extra baggage is your true essence. This is your inner sanctuary. This is your ultimate core being. This is you being with your spirit, your soul. You are connected to the divine. All of your internal wisdom, your eternal self is accessible here. I'll give you a few more moments to see how this feels and to just root into this sensation of you. If you want more time, feel free to pause the video. And before you leave the space, the next powerful step that you're going to take in your imagination here is to invite your higher self, your eternal self, your whole self, your future self that already has or embodies the wisdom, the success, the inner wisdom that you're seeking. And I want you to invite them in and give them permission to show up for you. This person, this is you. This is you. notice, how are you dressed? How do you hold yourself? How do you speak? What are your mannerisms? What are your, and then maybe start having a conversation. What are your beliefs? What do you view yourself? Or how do you view yourself? How do you understand the world to be? I'll give you some more moments for that. Again, pause this if you need more time. Let's express gratitude for these moments together, for yourself, for being in this space, for going on this journey. And if you need to move your body, allow your intuition or your body to tell you what it needs right now. Begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, your shoulders, release any tension, or bring some movement and blood flow. Open your eyes. Before you get too rambunctious with it, I want you to do some tapping right on between your eyebrows while taking deep breaths. Say, I am safe. I am safe to experience myself. Under your eyes, I am whole. I am learning to love who I am. Under your nose and then on your chin. Oh, I welcome in the wisdom as I learn to meet myself and integrate the lessons of the past and the wisdom coming to me from the future. Deep breath. Okay, now if there's any residual energy, just wipe it off of you. How does that feel? How does it feel to be in your body and be with yourself? I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I finally have time to do this and I'm remembering that it's actually the priority, not to just fit it into the cracks of my day or my life, but to really make it the foundation of my life. I realize how much I miss myself. And that's just a reminder for us all to recenter ourselves in our life, allow our soul self to lead us. Because our soul self is tapped into the ultimate consciousness of who we are, which is more potent beyond our earthly existence here. And so we are much more powerful when we use our imagination to tap into the good and the glorious instead of the anxious and fearful things that we don't want. But either way, we're using our imagination, right? Our world and our body naturally manifests, and so we are just learning and drop into being by being here to clear out the distortions so that you can manifest the good in life, a good life, an easy life, a fulfilling life, a purposeful life, to live within your genius, not out of your woundings, We are done creating from our wounds. Say it with me. I am done creating from my wounds. Hallelujah. Yes. It is 2025. We're done with that shit. So this is that simple reflection and inner journey that you can take at any time to either just be in your own space, your own sanctuary within, and or just to meet your higher self, your eternal self, and allow them to give you some guidance or instruction, comfort. Congratulations. Like, that's really, it makes me want to cry because I believe in this so much and I know it's so true that this is, being able to do this is life itself. To tap into who we truly are is the only skill we ever really need to learn, because it will guide us in everything else. So, and being present with ourselves allows us to stop running from ourselves, stop hiding, stop all of those ways that we get lost in the world. And that's the chaos. You know, the title of this video today is Remaining Calm in the Chaos. So there's a part of you that probably recognizes that you struggle with self-regulation. So that's really what we're talking about here. I think the first thing to do when we want to self-regulate is we cannot be scared of ourselves. So this is number 2. Or the second step is to reorient the way that you relate to yourself. So many people that I've worked with, especially with chronic mental health concerns or chronic illness, they struggle to love themselves. They struggle to even like themselves. They don't want to spend time going inwards. We don't want to. If that's you, let me know if I'm on the right track. And just so you know then that you're not alone, because it's easy to, because we live in a world that pathologizes us for these symptoms instead of understanding and helping us see where they're actually coming from, which is a dissociation from ourselves and our environment and hustle culture and all of the modern ways that we live that are disconnected from Mother Earth and nature and ourselves and our true nature and source or God energy and the rhythms of life and the seasons of life. It's because we're disconnected from all of that that we have these imbalances which show up as symptoms, but it's not a pathology. It's not something that's broken within you. So I hope that helps you. That gives you permission to stop blaming yourself and stop hating yourself, because you're not broken. Those symptoms actually prove that your body is working exactly the way it should be. These symptoms are messengers from your body and your higher self that something is amiss. And so, in relating to yourself differently, I now give you permission to honor the experiences you're having, the intuition, the feelings, the sensations, the symptoms, and to say thank you. Thank you, body, for the wisdom that you're showing me. May I be a better steward of you. You know, I have this saying where it's like everyone wants to be a king or queen, but we are to the universe within us. We are the God or goddess or the consciousness that is the ultimate consciousness to the divine within us, all of the cells and all of the wisdom and all of the intelligence running through our body every day. And so may we steward our body, may we steward ourselves, may we be that king or queen that has self-dominion, who has fortitude to take care of ourselves first, ourselves. So let's start here. Because when we do this work, everything else will start shifting in the external. It just happens naturally. Inner mastery creates outer mastery. You don't have to try to become more confident. You don't have to try to be more disciplined. You don't have to try to be this or that. It will happen naturally when you are aligned with your soul and your purpose and your own essence, and you will follow the lead of your inner guidance and do it in the way that's authentic to you to get the results that you desire. What a relief, huh? So this shift in how we relate to ourselves is actually coming home to the fact that we are our own authority, that you are the authority of your own being. There's no need to outsource it any longer. There's no need to continue reading all these self-help books or listening to all these master classes or to have to call whoever you call every time that you need help. I want you to go inwards, and I want you to have compassion for yourself. We're going to let go of that hatred. I now give you permission to let go of the hatred, the self-hatred, and forgive yourself. It is time that you forgive yourself. You now easily understand why you did what you did, why the imbalances created these symptoms in your life, and now you let go of any blame, guilt, shame for those imbalances and create ease, loving awareness, appreciation, gratitude for everything you've been through. And you're remembering that you're a fucking badass because you have indeed triumphed over everything. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to this. You wouldn't still be with me if it wasn't true. So congratulations. The last thing I want to say about this, how we relate to ourselves, is because when we go inwards, yes, it does bring up intense emotions. It can bring up all of those quote unquote negative emotions that we talked about earlier. And I want you to relate to that, to those experiences, like I said, with self-compassion, forgiveness, empathy, understanding, because when you're able to do that and treat yourself like you would probably see your best friend or to a mentor or whoever, hopefully your children, you would have empathy towards them. Although we also project how we suppress ourselves onto the people around us. So that might be meaningful to some of you, but to start catching. But being able to be present with where we are in our body and how that's affecting our mind is how we learn to have calm in the chaos. Because we can't be in this exploration and we can't be in the world without our inner sanctuary. Because if our habit of relating to ourselves is all negative and fearful and judgy and all of that negative stuff that we probably, like many of us are programmed. I understand that this is like so common, and I'm sure it's something that you will begin to navigate through. But being honest with where we are in our own experience takes a presence with ourselves that is loving, kind, gentle. So I give you permission to be gentle with yourself. I give you permission to forgive yourself for those things that are haunting you. You did your best, and now you're here doing better. And self-evolution is the only guarantee of life. There is no such thing as good or bad. There's just what is, and our experience or perception of it. as you relate to yourself with more compassion and love and forgiveness, you're going to have an easier time being honest with yourself about maybe what needs to change along the path, and be able to just go through that change and the growing pains of it and the missteps and the learning, and you'll build confidence and self-efficacy, which is the belief that you can implement change in your own life, which is hard if we've been in very constricting environments, if we had really negative caregivers who instilled negative beliefs about our ability to learn or to understand ourselves. If we're gaslit, then we're disconnected from our intuition and we are actually disbelieving in ourselves and the wisdom that comes through. And so as you're rewiring this, it's natural for it to not feel natural. This is what will create the calm in the chaos. It is where you begin this journey. And I promise you it works. Like, I've been doing this and I can tell you I've been through some serious shit. And I've sat with people through some serious stuff. And there's nothing that could shake me through that. Like, there's nothing that you could do that you could come to me and be like, oh my God, you're gonna hate me for this or something. I think it was Maya Angelou said, like, anything that a human being has done, I am too capable of doing. Under the right circumstances, with the right background or experiences that shaped that consciousness at that time, anything is possible. So we have compassion and empathy for the human experience. And that's very helpful when you're going through the human experience. All right. Or the third thing that we'll talk about in our time together is the idea, the mindset shift of letting it be easy. So it's actually a Zen or a Buddhist teaching, or some of the greatest masters say that a lot of people, and especially Westerners, like there to be complexity. And oftentimes they just try to make it complex, because if you tell the student how easy it is, then they'll believe that you're the stupid one. Our mind likes to have something to chew on. Our mind thinks that it needs to analyze and categorize and file things away in our memory and compare and contrast. All of that is just noise. So I give you permission to accept this truth. It is easy to let go of the past. It is easy to transform your life. It is easy to choose ease, abundance, joy, expansion, love, compassion, forgiveness. It is easy because you are no longer entertaining the resistance, the habitual thoughts and fear program that has gotten in the way. Because if that would have worked by now, it would have worked. All of that analytical thinking and problem solving and prefrontal cortex stuff, if it was going to work, it was already going to work. And as someone trained in mental health, as a therapist, and with a master's in counseling psych, even I didn't know I had anxiety. I even wasn't willing to admit that I had anxiety because I was so high functioning and because I was so intellectually engaged in my mind that I thought I had it all handled. But if we don't feel ease and joy in our body, then we don't got it handled. And that's part of the chaos. It's part of the learning to unravel from the chaos, is we have to actually admit that there's probably part of us, while yes, some Some of it is just habitual, like we've probably lived like that for most of our lives. If we've lived in that survival state, I know I did. As a highly intuitive person who is always feeling and sensing and catching on to the cognitive chaos happening in other people around me, I had to go intellectual. I had to dissociate from my body. But now, after chronic illness and chronic mental health, I've seen these patterns more and more in myself, in the collective, that if all of that was gonna work, like think about that. Like even I, who had a master's, I feel like my master's in counseling psych actually just gave me more, like a master's degree in further suppressing, because I still made it all very mental. And there's all these tools and theories and tricks and ideas of how to heal or how to treat a mental health disorder. I promise you, I assisted so many people with chronic PTSD, complex PTSD, substance use disorder, family trauma, domestic violence, like all of the really, really hard stuff. Okay, chronic disorders and disabilities. This is why I left that field, because it doesn't acknowledge the body is holding the trauma. And we're just now getting to it. Maybe I jumped out of the field a little too early because we're just now, everyone's talking about embodiment or in somatic sensation, somatic therapy and all of that. But I'm getting away from it. We're getting too complex. The simplest thing you need to know is to listen to your body. Your body is telling you and communicating it to you. And then we have to learn to trust and honor our body's sensations and follow it. There's a balance between like not allowing that chaos in our body and our mind to create more chaos in our life. But there's also a wisdom of understanding what it's trying to communicate to us and calming ourselves down, regulating ourselves, so that then once our rational mind can come back online with our intuitive beingness, as we sit with our higher selves, our wisdom will tell us which direction to move, and then we must learn to move. That's a whole nother video, but I'll just give you a tidbit right now. If you are in fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, you need to know which one you typically habitually do, and that's the next step. That's the next step of like, once you have the wisdom, what are you going to do with it? It's too easy to stay in the fawn response. It's too easy to keep running from ourselves or the people around us who love us and are trying to help us. Like, I always say trauma sounds very rational because it is the thoughts and the sensations that have been protecting you your whole life, and so they sound like they're a good idea. But oftentimes that's the chaos, right? That's the chaos that's stirring around you, and if you make decisions based off of the chaos, not the centeredness, then that's when we make further trouble for ourselves. That's when we create more karma that we're going to have to clean up later. So I want you to imagine, like, the next time you're in a chaotic situation, I want you to imagine yourself, imagine yourself zooming out, and you see yourself down here in the middle of a calm, like in the middle of a hurricane or a tornado, and you're in the center of it where it's nice and calm, nothing is happening, but the winds of change and the vortex is moving around you, and maybe there's debris in it and whatever. But as you draw your consciousness out and take the bigger picture, take a bigger perspective, you sit with your higher self, you regulate your emotional state, your body, you're sitting in the calm. And not until all of this calms down do you then make a move or make a decision. And that's how we remain calm in the chaos. Dropping into being, meeting ourselves with love, compassion, meeting our higher selves and allowing them to guide us. Letting go of the fear programs and the habitual ways that we either fight, freeze, fawn, the way we would amplify or react to and worsen the drama that's happening around us, because it's not working. Remember, like, the next time you're in a situation and you wanna react, you wanna just like do your thing and say the thing, or you start lashing out, you start getting overwhelmed, or you start, oh, I'm so tired, I just need to go lay down and dissociate. Remember that your body is engaged in its habitual response. And so you're going to take yourself out of that and just take a moment to take a perspective and recognize what's happening, and then go into your body and say, what are you trying to tell me? I'm here to listen with loving, compassionate awareness and non-reaction, non-reactivity. I'm not going to go anywhere with this. I'm just going to sit with it. And that will teach you what you need to learn. That will be the beginning of the journey. And it will always be the journey. Like, there's layers and layers of this. And that's a beautiful thing. It is the gift of life, because this is what you came here for. And this is where you will access your true nature. And it will get easier every time. I promise you, it gets easier, quicker. So I hope this was helpful. Tell me where you're at in the process. Let me know how it's going. Continue looking at the videos, joining me here at Drop Into Being. It's time for you to shine. And that happens by cultivating inner mastery and the relationship you have with yourself. It's the only skill you need in life, is to reconnect here. And I'm so happy that you're here doing it. I'll see you soon, friends.